All right, let's set up the Cottle boards for the second part of our mold. So first thing I'm going to do is wax my mold using, or not wax, but lubricate my mold with Murphy's oil soap. I'm going to put that over the whole piece. Sometimes I water it down. I've been actually using it full force lately, and I do like it, and then I can just go back and buff that down afterwards. The Murphy's oil soap is my kind of favorite, and it's the one that's used by a lot of mold makers. The other one that's pretty common is Plastilube, but basically it's a soap with oil in it, so it doesn't absorb quite as fast, but it also doesn't destroy your mold. And generally I'll put like a coat on before I even start putting my Cottle boards on. And then by the time I'm done putting my Cottle boards on, the mold has kind of absorbed some of that oil soap, and then I can do it again. And I will have to go back down and kind of buff it out, because if I leave any pools or puddles, that's not going to do me any favors. Okay, so now I'm just gonna like lightly buff that out. Your mold should feel slick to the touch, not dry, but kind of waxy. If it doesn't feel that way, then you need more mold soap. And then also I want to make sure that I don't have any mold soap on my piece, so I'm going to get that like super clean. This is like, I'm going to clean this so many different times, guys. It's just like what you do. I'm just feeling the mold to check whether or not it feels waxy everywhere. Okay, so now we're actually going to set up our Cottle boards. And I told you before that my Cottle boards were a little bit short for what I needed. So I am going to put these 2x4s underneath. And then also some of my wood sticks too. That should add another 1/4 inch, which is pretty much what I need for that. Okay, now I can fill in all of the gaps. So the same thing I did on the other side, a really thin coil along all of the seams. And I'm going to do that on the seams and also on the on the corners, but also in the places where the plaster connects to the walls, because I don't want that to leak out anywhere either. I'm going to do my best to keep everything really close to the walls of the piece and not to infringe too much onto the plaster surface. So just minimal amounts of clay, just enough to seal it, not like it shouldn't be like piles of clay at all. Okay, now that that's cleaned up, now it is time for me to actually make my pour spout. So I have this little thing that I threw on the wheel just so I could have something be nice and round. And it's at an angle so that I can just set it into my form and press down, and that's going to create a really clean, beautiful edge around the piece, so I don't have to fuss too much. It's honestly the easiest way possible to make that pour spout. And then I'm going to pour that plaster in nice and slow. This is the plaster that was a little bit funky on me, so it did start setting up a little bit faster than I wanted it to. But the mold seemed to come out okay. We'll see when I do my first cast whether or not I dislike it and want to do it again. Alright, so I'm just finishing up my pour, and now we're going to wait for 45 minutes and see how it turns out.